Hey everyone, welcome back to my craft room. My name's Heidi with the Ann Arbor District Library, and today's craft I'm showing you how to assemble this lantern. So it's just using tracing paper and craft sticks and hot glue, just a low temperature hot glue. You don't need anything really hot for this. The low temperature is a little safer as well. It does cool quickly. You could also use an all-purpose glue to assemble this, but you do have to wait for things to dry, so that's kind of why I like the hot glue. It's a little bit quicker method, but we'll talk about all that as we go. Just a quick, these images, it's on tracing paper. I was able to send it through my printer to print these from a website that I'll have a link to, and then I just colored them in with marker. Using tracing paper, though, you have the option, you could place it on top of an image and draw it yourself. And you could even just draw your own image, color in whatever you would like to see. But let's get on now to making it. One last thing, I'm using again one of these flameless style candles that you can turn on and off. If you don't have that, that's fine, but I would recommend putting your candle inside like a votive, something to hold it, because this is paper and wood, and you wouldn't want to set that on fire. Okay, so let's get on to how to make it. So what we're using today, I have these colorful craft sticks. They're a little bit, it's bigger than a popsicle stick. So this is about, they're about 5 3/4 and about a 1/2 inch wide, a little more than a 1/2 inch. You could use smaller ones. You could even cut these in half to make a small little lantern. I haven't tried that though. If you didn't really like the look of the rounded edge, you could also cut them. They're pretty easily cut with just using a pair of scissors. So today, for what I chose to do, was to just go with one color, and I really liked the green. And you're going to make 4 frames. Unless you want to do a triangle shape, you could just do 3, but this is what it looks like. And they're just glued together like that. I've prepared 3 of them, and I'll show you how to make one. I've chosen to use hot glue for the project because it's stronger and it dries quickly. You could use a regular multi-purpose glue. You'll just have to be a little patient, waiting to make sure the pieces are dry before handling, so that they don't shift their shape on you or fall apart. So all I need to do, put a little dab of glue, do one on each of these ends. And just be careful, hot glue guns, they're hot. I'll place this down there, pretty good. I try to get it so it's not hanging over this edge, so that they're pretty flush. One thing with hot glue, you do have to work pretty quickly. I'm just going to press down, get that nicely secured. All right. And the next one, just put a couple dots of glue on these edges. Line that up. And once you have all 4, it really holds its shape in a square. Just pressing down, and already that's pretty dry. A little bit, just kind of, it's cool enough I can touch it. You can see already it's dry and just peeling off some of that excess. Okay, so now for what can be a tricky part is to assemble these into a cube shape. So we now have the 4 frames, and we'll be attaching them side by side to make a cube. And you can see there's the sticks that are on the top, and you have 2 sticks that are on the bottom. So when I assemble this, These sticks that are on the top right now, this is going to be the inside of the frame. And basically it will be to glue this edge up against this edge. And that can be a little bit tricky to assemble, but it'll meet up just like that. You can see like that's how it would lay each one on top of each other. It can be a little bit tricky if you're by yourself to do this. You may need to have a prop to set it up against. But I also have a method that is going to help encourage the strength of it, just using a piece of cardstock. And I just cut a piece that's about 1.5 times bigger than a popsicle stick. And I will glue that on there and we'll join them. But first, before we do that, before we make the cube, I want to put my images on, because it'll be easier than trying to attach them once it's in a cube shape. Now I used tracing paper, just regular, I had a pad of tracing paper, and you could take the piece of tracing paper, so you can see you can kind of see through it, and just with some black pen, or not even black pen, just with some pen and markers, draw your own image. I went a little bit sort of complicated route and decided I wanted to do mandalas. There is a website called Mandala, and it's free coloring pages with all these different mandala designs. I discovered I could put the tracing paper in my printer, and then I was able to print these images off. Now they do print normally, the size of the mandalas on that website are about 7.5, 8 inches in size. So I did have to go through and resize them. And if you have some editing software, you could make that happen. Or you could also work with a portion of the mandala. I had one that I didn't end up really liking the way it was colored, so I didn't use it, but I have this one. I printed it at full size, and then I would use just part of it to frame it, and use part of that in the lantern, be like that. But many of you are very creative with your drawing skills, and it could be really abstract. I did have a couple, but they ended up not really working out, but just maybe some wavy lines, or you could do some triangles, some squares, just something that's kind of abstract, or maybe, draw a picture of someone or something and coloring it in. And then I just used markers to color it in. You could also use colored pencil. I liked the look of the marker. It was a little bit stronger pigment than a colored pencil. It has a softer look to it, the colored pencil. So it's just going to be your preference, whatever you might like. All right. You could also go back and view a program we had about sun catchers, and that would be using wax paper and melted crayon to make some really great designs. And I will put a link to that in the description so you can go back and look at that. That would be another way to make the windows of your lantern. So how we're going to attach this is, I'm just going to lay my square down, and again, this is going to be the inside, having the popsicle sticks on top running in that direction. And I'm just going to put some glue down, just a quick little stream here. I'll just do one side. I don't have to tack it too much because it is paper. I'm going to try to get my image centered. And I just do that by eye. Press that down. Again, the hot glue, just be careful. Initially it's really hot, but it does cool off pretty quickly. And I'm just going to tack the other edge now that I see where it lands. Going to be kind of close to this here. And just laying that down. And press it on. Okay. And since it's just a, you could also glue this part if you'd like, or just keep it loose the way it is, and that's how that will look. So I'm going to join the rest of these. Again, these are the sides when they're on top facing this way. So you don't want to have it this, you don't want them on the top and the bottom. You want the popsicle sticks that are on the top part of the frame to be on your sides. That's what you're working with. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my idea for how to easily join these together. I'm going to, using this piece of cardstock, and just about halfway I'm going to glue it onto this this side of the frame. So again, it's only covering it about halfway. Just really making sure I press that on there pretty good. Now, I'm going to try and fold this so it is going to be flush along that line of the popsicle stick. Okay, so next we're gluing along that edge, but I can also glue onto the paper, which makes this a little bit easier than just trying to meet that small of a surface area. Now, I'm laying this so it is squared up, nice and flush. And I can press down on the paper and help make that a nice 90-degree angle. And this will start to stabilize with each one that I add. So that's making a nice 90-degree. And let's join a third. And because these designs go really any direction, I don't necessarily have a top and bottom to worry about, but depending on your designs, you might have to be noticing that while you're assembling your frames. Again, you can use Elmer's glue with this, is perfectly fine. You could even do this part with masking tape. With Elmer's glue, again, just having to wait for it to dry. Okay, so I got that pressed down, nice and secure. Folding it up. So it meets up with the edge. Have my next frame ready. I'm just going to glue along here and get some on this edge as well. a little bit squeezing out, but that's okay. Dries clear, or you'll be able to kind of pull it away, cut it away. On the inside, which you can't really see right now, I am working on smoothing that one in. Might have to put just another little dab carefully right in there. And we just have to do the last one. I'm going to fold my paper this time. Before I glue it down, I'm going to fold it to start. And there'll be two, so let's get those both ready. On this one, okay, so I got those two set up to join. Let's see how this works. Be a little tricky. I'm going to start with this side and run my glue again along here. Getting some I'm just pressing on the inside of that paper so it's sealing it down against that other frame. And then last side we have to put together. Get a nice thick bit of glue on here. You can see it already falls right into place basically. There we go. Now we have our frame. I'm going to see if we can glue some sticks here into the corners to just increase the stability of my frame. So I'm just going to run a line of glue so you can see this. Just along those edges of that cardstock. And make sure that it's meeting up with the tops and bottoms of the sticks of the frame. Press it in there. So again, gluing just right along that edge so I don't get it on my lantern windows. Just goes in at that angle. Press it down. Yeah, that really does give it a bit more stability. This side. A nice bead of glue to work with. Kind of hard for me to see and for you to see at the same time. But we're making it happen. Okay. Now, the cool thing with this, if you don't have one of those LED lights, you could also have a candle in a votive holder. However, just be very careful with burning candles, not to leave anything unattended. So it looks like I'm sadly all out of green, so my last stick is going to be a different color, but that's alright. You could do all different colors, of course, or you might have plain colored craft sticks. You could paint them, color them. You could add some bedazzlement on the outside of this frame, whatever you would like to do to decorate it. Make it your own. This is kind of just the basics of how to construct it. Pressing that down in there. And you can see. So the paper is kind of loose there. If you want, you can, like I said, you could go through it and glue those down, make them stick in there a little bit tighter. And we'll see how this looks with the candle. And here is the finished lantern with the flameless candle turned on inside. And so I hope you have a lot of fun with this. I know I did. You don't have to do the mandalas. I will have a link for that website though if you'd like to print them off onto your tracing paper if you have that available to you. The ink does take a moment to dry on the paper, so just be careful handling it that you don't touch it and smudge the ink. It's tracing paper though, so you could also just, lay it down on top of some other image or design to help you with drawing. You could make up your own abstract images, color it in however you'd like. Pencils, even crayons would work, or colored pencil, and markers are great. I really like the luminosity of a marker. Maybe you could try gluing tissue paper designs on there, see how that would work out. You could also, maybe you'll have smaller popsicle sticks. This is a fairly large frame. This is about each square is about 5.5 inches. So if you wanted to make a smaller one, you could cut down the sticks, or you could have some smaller craft sticks. I was thinking after I made this, I could also do something that's rectangular. If I were to cut one of these in half, so it would be, a nice narrow shape. I think that would be really fun to play with. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed this, and that you'll make lots of fun lanterns for yourself to have in your home. If you liked the program, please indicate it by hitting that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. Lots of content to explore. All the programs that we've had in the past are still on the channel, so you can go and you look back for either searching by the type as well. You can search for craft programs, you could search for trivia programs, sports. There's all kinds of fun stuff on there. Please leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you just would like to leave a comment. And appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful day.